It's the
Dave Hud Show.
Cherri Bombshell. That's it for today.
Yes, yes.
It's the Dave Hud Show.
All right, well, welcome to the Dave Hud Show. We was talking about earlier, but why, which I think is a huge topic. We probably go for a long time with that one, but why do women pick the wrong guy?
Yes, we was talking. Okay, so I mean, there's numerous reasons why we do it, but a lot of times, and with my personal experience, I think that we settle. Our age falls into it a lot. Like you're not going, maybe this is all you gonna get. Um,
Hmm.
we don't know what we're really looking for, and we just deal with certain things. But it also stems from, the relationship with, I believe, with your father. I believe
Mm.
it starts
Come on.
there, and then it stems into a stigma that we're living in, especially African Americans or whatever you want to call us politically. I don't know, but um, because it puts us in this box, and now really we're competing against each other. So it's kind of like a hard thing to get an equal mate in a certain situation. That's how I feel.
Hmm.
And I feel like we choose the wrong men. We know that they're the wrong men, but we feel like we can fix them. We can change them. We can love them
Hmm.
into being
Hmm.
better. We can show them stability. We can take care of them. We can
Hmm.
um, we can nurture them to what we need them to be. And a lot of times, even if people stay together, they're not happy. They just stay together because that end up working out for their situation, and they end up settling for whatever, but they're really not happy. They're just in a situation. And then a lot of times we just deal with a whole bunch of bullshit to get nothing.
Mm. So you know what? I had a couple questions on it because I think this is a very good topic. Hopefully we can get that 15-year-old girl out there to make the right decision. But I like to start like for the root of it. I know you said that the father was a huge key, and I've noticed that over my experiences. Just talking with women or in relationships too, is that um, women who don't have that father in their life, or even if they have one, but he's not that ideal man, then how would they know how to pick a right one? You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
mean, I see that a lot of women who don't have fathers in their lives, the choices, the decisions they pick when they pick that man is and again, there's no fault of theirs. They don't know what a real man is,
Hmm.
so they get a bunch of you know uh, con men throwing them games and dreams, fantasies just to get what they want. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So how do we let's not talk about the 15-year-old girl who has that role model, who has that father in her life that she's okay to as far as she's going to pick. How do we get to the one who doesn't? Like
Well,
how do we present that? How do we prevent them from making a that bad decision?
Well, I think first of all, like we have to start with self love. Like love yourself enough to know what you deserve, what you're putting out there, because you have to be putting out a good aura to get a good man as well. You have to be a good woman.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, I think that we need to um, first.
So
So
make sure you're good before you start look. You know what I mean? Make sure you're on point because you was talking about that before, being healthy and unhealthy.
yes, yes, yes. Make sure you're good before you're looking for something that's good. Because we poison a lot of stuff because we come with a lot of baggage, and then we want to sort it out dealing with somebody else and then their baggage. So I feel
Mm.
like come with a clean slate and know who you are and know what you're bringing to the table. So you know what you deserve for one. And as far as a young girl or whatever, I just feel like don't first of all don't start valuing yourself about who wants to be with you and who don't, because it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Like at the end of the day, we'll have choices out there, and you'll have good choices if you don't make bad choices in the beginning. And I feel like instead of focusing on, you know, being with a boyfriend or something like that, focus on themselves first, focus on finding out who they are, what they want out of life, who they want to be, and start incorporating somebody else and be a whole person in that. When we don't have fathers, we can hold on to that for a long time, and the anger and the hurt and the pain that comes along with that. But then you become an adult and you can make certain choices. And at the end of the day,
Mhm.
it's just like a child that might have been given up at birth. Then they might be the best parent, or they could be the worst parent, or they could give their child up. It's choices that we
Right.
make, that we go forward in. We didn't have fathers. There's nothing we can do about that. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
have to recognize
Mhm.
that and move on from that. But in moving on from that, you know, I think that women really know what we deserve. I feel like you know what is a good person and what is not. And that's in your gut. It's
Mhm.
in your gut. And I think that also we allow society to tell us certain things, so we get caught up in certain things. So if you got like, quote unquote, what we in our culture might call a nerd, and
Right.
might be working at Giant Eagle, and then you got this young guy that's, out. I'm not even gonna say a thug, but maybe got access to money, clothing, different types of things, but his mind is in a different place. That
Mhm.
somebody's gonna be attracted to the wrong things, because that's what's like, we're pushed in our culture to do that. And instead of
Mhm.
embracing somebody who was that nerd, that's what I would really say. Embrace somebody with some quality, and you can
Right. And
actually
why
change that.
but why is that? Why is it? Well, I mean, I know, it is what it is, but I mean, like, is it the lure? Is it the like the bad boy, the draw, the status, you know what I mean? I mean, I know the swag and the coolness and all that. You know what I mean? Um, but how do we because you as an adult, that's not good for the long run.
Right.
But how do you, like, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Well,
I mean, because it's hard, it's tough for that 15-year-old to not, to talk to that, quote unquote nerd, when the cool guy is more attractive. I mean, he's more like, they can even be the same as far as looks wise, but the one, he's cool, what I mean, mom, he's cool, this and that or whatever. And that when you bring them home, your mom used to be you, but now she's an adult and she know he ain't no good.
well, I would tell my 15-year-old self personally not to be wrapped up in no, like, to I would chase my dreams instead of chasing boys. I wouldn't be focused on boys.
Mm,
If I could tell my 15-year-old self that, I would love myself enough, and I wouldn't measure myself about who wanted to talk to me. That's basically, I
mm,
was so into myself. And then um and if I knew what I knew now, then I know that in that I will also attract a different type of a situation and attract a different person, because confidence is everything. And when you don't have that in yourself, and you feel like you got to do certain things to stay in the in crowd, or be, a certain way,
yes,
just to,
yes.
just to fit in, it's okay not to fit in. I would tell my 15-year-old
Mm-hmm,
year old self, like, I was always a leader, but I still was a leader in fitting in with what was
mm-hmm,
going on, instead of focus on what I
mm-hmm.
should have been focused on, which, even, I mean, right now, even with raising a child or whatever, it's just so much more knowledge that you have. Like, I would be telling I would be preparing myself to get a house by the time I was 21 instead of 50. You know what I'm saying? Or something like in that
Mm-hmm.
nature. I mean, I am blessed to have a house right now that I own, but I would be preparing for that as a young person, instead of wait until, that's what I would be sewing into, instead of worrying about wearing certain clothes, or getting my hair done, or nails, or phones, or any of that. And so,
Right.
yeah, I think that it comes from, I mean, and I don't feel like my mom focused on any of that for me, but she had to work a lot, and she had to take care of the household. And I think that, when young people are struggling, it's hard to go to a parent and say, like, I'm struggling, because you don't really know you're struggling anyway. But if we knew better, we would do better. And I think the parents would turn around and, just really try to sow into their kids, and really to be on top of them, so they wouldn't have time to be worrying about being in love with somebody. Because at that age, we don't, a man can't provide that, and a woman can't provide that. It's not no possible way, because we don't even know who we are. We don't know what we can produce and really bring to the table in a love situation. So then we start getting into that situation. Then we start having kids. We don't even love ourselves, then we got to raise these kids. So it's a cycle that just keeps going and going and going and going and going. And at the end of the day, like, I feel like, go back into, like, really, I don't know if everybody's not spiritual, but when you got a spiritual base, it grounds you in something. And so go back to that man will find you.
Yes.
Stop looking.
So you're saying stay focused, stay on that road. Like I tell everybody, if I don't see you, then you're not on that road. Right. You know what I mean? I got a destination, and I'm on this road here.
Right.
So if you're a part of that, my destination, or you're around the same area, or we can vibe on certain things, or you're giving me something that can benefit me, then I see you on the road.
Right.
But if you're not on the road, then I don't see you. Now, for me to see you, you're off the road. Now, if I see you, that means I'm not on the road.
Right.
And now you're taking me away from my destination. So I have to stay on my path.
Right.
So when we talk about that 15-year-old girl, she has her goals, she has her ambitions, she knows what she wants to do in life. She is so focused on that goal that she don't have time for boys. Now, when she's on her path, and then she runs into another guy who is on a similar path, she can see him. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times you don't have no path.
Right. And
that's the problem. If you don't have no path, you don't have no destination. Where you going?
And at the end of
you gotta have goals.
And at the end of the day, then we start getting into, then the women also then start naturally nurturing. Then that's when we fall into you just dealing with anybody, and you're trying to nurture them into something when you're not even.
Right.
Sometimes we're there, sometimes we're not. But even if you do got yourself together, I feel like there has to be certain issues if you're still attracting, or putting in time with the wrong person. And we know in our gut.
So you're saying that some accountability there should be there.
Yeah, for sure. Accountability is huge.
It's huge. Now, here's my thing. Why, and you said it earlier, and I was going to wait to touch on it, but I'll touch on it now. Why try to change? If he's not where you want him to be, especially when you're talking about older, you're older guys. We're talking about older now. We talk to young. We talk about where we at now when you're older. You're trying to change this guy, as opposed to meeting the guy where you want him to be.
Right.
And then when he doesn't change, and he may change temporarily, but then he's going to resort back to who he was. This is where we talk about the representative. See, there shouldn't be a representative term.
Right.
You should be talking to a guy. You should see his actions. That's another thing. Well, a lot of women, they pay attention to a man's words. You need to pay attention to his actions.
Yes, we do. Because a lot of us,
you know what I'm saying? Those actions got to follow the words. That tongue can be very lethal.
Right. Yes, it can be.
You know what I mean?
It can be.
So you talk about, wanting to change. I'm like, Shorty, you want dude to go to jazz clubs. You want him to go to church. You want him to go to, you want him to, or even dudes, you want Shorty to work out. You want her to go to the gym. But did you meet her there?
Right. And sometimes,
did you meet him there? Was he doing that before you met him?
And sometimes there's ways that you could get people. I mean, it's not, I don't want to say get people, but there's ways that people evolve in relationships. People grow, people change.
Well,
they may, if somebody really loves you, your interests become their interests if they weren't. But it has to be that connection that's really there. We can't force that connection. And a lot of times we sit up here I know for women, we look at potential, and like I told you,
and that's what it is. It's like a project.
And when I told you when I was reading this book, it was like you can't love somebody's potential because what you see in somebody, they may never see in themselves. So you can't love them what you might think that they can do because they may never get there because they're not even on that. So at the end of the day, it is more so, I wouldn't even say where you want a man to be in a relationship, but also that's where it comes in where the equal yoke is. Because a man shouldn't be so off the spectrum that he never went to church before and y'all never talked about it, but now you're in a relationship and you want him to go to church and he's not going. That shouldn't be off the spectrum. Right. And at the end of the day, that shouldn't be something.
But then, and what's crazy is you get mad because he's not going.
Right.
You know, like I talked to this one girl. She was mad because her dude, it was unbelievable. She was mad because her dude wouldn't work. He smoked weed. He smoked weed, played video games all day. He drove her car. So I said, what was he doing before you met him? She said, she was smiling, you know. He was smoking weed, he was playing video games. Okay, so you met him there. And where was he living at before? She said, with his mom. I said, you his mama now. And she didn't know what to say. I said, yeah, you his mama now. And guess what? You're trying to get him to work and get up off the couch and do something with his life. Guess what his mama was trying to do?
Right.
As a matter of fact, his mama probably loved you to death because you just took him off of her hands. Really?
Yeah, really.
You know what I'm saying? So he's driving your car. He ain't driving her car no more.
That's a.
But she was mad though.
Yeah.
She was mad because he wouldn't get a job. He wouldn't do nothing with his life. I said, what are you mad for? This is who he is.
And like you said,
but she tried. She thought she could change him.
But a lot of times they say shit. They want to be different. They like a lot of men.
But again, that's the word and not the action.
Yep.
That's what those words, it don't matter if it's coming out the preacher's mouth or it's coming up with that dude at the bar. Right. It's still game.
You're right. And that's the thing. And we think, and this is a whole nother topic, but what happens is now what you're seeing is the roles reversed. And we're seeing a lot of women thinking that they can handle that on a man's level. Well, I'm just going to have sex. I'm just going to lay down with somebody. I'm just going to give oral, you know, and then we take a lot of the responsibility out of being with somebody because then now you're just accepting whatever they want to bring to the table, but you're thinking you're controlling it, but you're really not. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of, we got a lot of issues. And if you see, like you said, it's about where a man's trying to go. You can meet a man on the bus. But is he going to work or is he going to go hang with his boys? At the end of the day, it's not about putting people in certain boxes. But at the end of the day, if a man don't have no direction, like you said, or no plan, then there's nothing. And for real, a man that's really focused on his plan, and he might even tell you, look, I don't have time for no relationship right now. Women don't respect that. Don't think that that's some old crazy shit, but this man's really trying to get his shit together. But then we'll put in time and energy into some broken ass men that don't want to do anything, and we're trying to fix, and then we're wasting all this time trying to fix him to get nothing, because you're not gonna be able to fix nobody. We can't change nobody. Nobody can change nobody. You can influence, but you cannot change people. That is on their own free will, and
they gotta want it. They gotta want to change,
no matter what their past was, and we got to stop feeling sorry for them. Because that's something that I fell into too. Feeling sorry for somebody don't get them nothing. That don't do nothing for them. And you don't. And it's not our job to fix them either. If they're broken, that's not our job to fix them. And we got to realize that. And we can't.
That's right. And you know what? Something else is what I tell to young dudes or the young kids. Anybody that tells me, you know, what you got going on, what you working on, or whatever this and that, or what you want to be. See, we don't finish that saying. We say what you want to be when you grow up. or what you want to do when you get out of high school, what you want to do. And then they give you an answer, right? I want to be an electrician, right? So we end the conversation. Anybody that would ask me what I wanted to do, I give them whatever they want to hear or give them a blow off, right? But you know what? I said, you know what? Nobody ever followed up with me on that.
Yeah.
You have to follow up with you. So what happens next when you ask, well, Dave, what you want to do? Well, I want to go on the computers. Okay. Instead of leaving, I'm thinking you're done. Okay, I got him out of my way. My uncle or whoever the fuck else. Yeah, he's out of here. No. What are you doing in preparation to become that?
Yep.
See, because just because you're not in school, because you say, I'm going to school. I'm going to go to school to learn that trade. Okay. How long is it going to take you to do that? Are you reading anything Are you reading anything on it right now? Are you looking up in the YouTubes? Are you asking anybody? Are you have a mentor in it? There's things you can do before you actually do it.
Yep.
In preparation. So that's what you ask that dude when he tell you about what he got going on, or he give you some line. Okay, nigga, what are you doing to work towards that?
And honestly, I feel like, Dave, that's not no woman's job. Like you said, that goes back to action and words, because you could see somebody can still have a good tongue and get a good game of what they think they doing to get to their goals and ain't doing shit. At the end of the day, a man who's excited about where he's going to tell you. He gonna share that with you, because you're gonna be on that journey.
No. He's gonna show you.
Period. He's gonna show you. He's gonna be busy. He ain't gonna be laying on the couch playing PlayStation. He's going to be showing you his grind. And so we got to pay attention to that. And at the end of the day, like I said, whether we want something in somebody or not, they are who they are. So we can't love them into that. And then in the real sense is, I'm gonna tell you a real true life story of mine. That when I was young, dealing with somebody, and my mom asked them what did they want to do with their life, and we was young, but we were still teenagers, older teenagers, and he said, "Chill." No, I'm not. This is a real live ass story.
Well, I know. I did a couple classes with the young bulls, and I told them, I said, "What you doing this summer?" And I don't want to hear chilling.
Yeah. And
they think that's a career.
Right. And my mom really was against the whole thing. Like, look, this dude don't got no plan. This don't got no direction. And here I'm thinking my mom's being harsh. My mom don't understand. My mom don't know what he been through. My mom knew what that true saying is when somebody's trying to tell you who they are. Listen, that's the prime example. Because guess what? This dude want to chill. Now this is 30 something years later. This dude is chilling. He don't have no goals. He don't have no plans. He has no aspirations. His life has been.
Look how right mommy was.
Yeah. And that's the thing that we don't.